1 a.m., in less than an hour, Dr. Oni will reply you. This is it. Let's talk by 8. Let's talk by 10. And as we are talking to you, somebody else is also say, there's another person by 11. Oh, let's meet so by 1. And this has been the cycle he has been involved with. Well, it's important that one of these days we recognize the fact that we celebrate people who are building a strong community in our midst. And I'm glad and proud that an exemplary Nigerian in this city who has been responsible for uplifting of so many people to have facility in the healthcare sector is Dr. Oni. And let me tell you, if you are planning to have any facility related to healthcare, this is somebody to move with, and this is somebody to talk with. One, there is no information. I call him. If you ask me, get me. I say, sir, you are Google yourself now. Where do you now? Where are you refining? He said, no. You guys are smarter. No, I said, no. The experience and the wealth of knowledge, and the most important thing, the willingness to share. Many of us, you will know one thing. You keep it under your button. It will decay there. Before you know it, it will become outdated information. And I am glad, we are happy, we are blessed to have our own. He's a member of our church, and he's a father, he's a mentor, Dr. Richard Oni. Thank you, sir.
Good morning, church. You know, I'm hearing this for the first time, but it's hard for me to accept because where we come from, we don't blow our own trumpet, but we allow people to blow it, and he did well. So, you know, in this Minnesota, I think a lot of our Nigerians or other people, we like to help each other, but sometimes maybe people just don't have a lot of time, but we have to create it as part of the time. I'm glad to be here. I've been here maybe 1 or twice now, one on mental health and this one on youth. Why is it important that we are talking about youth? And sometimes we talk about empowerment. Sometimes we talk about energy. We talk about opportunity. We talk about information. Information that people come to collect from me is not useful to them until they use it. And so when people say information is power, it's really not power. It is pathway to power. It's a way to get that power. So they give you information, the church, even in the church, the Bible talks about different things. But if we don't follow it, it's not useful. So when people come to me, I ask them questions. You want to do group home, you want to do healthcare, why are you doing those things? Because you have to have a reason for doing what you do. And if it's not going to be impactful to people, then there's no need to do it. And so whatever I do to people is just giving them opportunity. You know, it's not that they have to do it, but I had opportunity when I did it. I didn't have a lot of people to mentor me. We cannot do it the same way. So, been in Minnesota for a long time myself. I can say I spent more time in, my years in Minnesota is more than the years I spent in Nigeria. So that means I've been in Minnesota for too long. However, what I'm talking about this morning is not something that you guys don't know. No information is new. All we do is we recycle them. We recycle information. All the information is not really, nothing is new. It's just recycling. So what I'm telling you, or what I'm going to be talking about, is what we all know. But issues of Nigerians, or even Africa, that I've seen is the fact that we are too conscious of community gossip syndrome. What would the people say if I do this? what we throw up, and then later on it's no longer gossip because it becomes public information. And what you have been hiding and not getting treatment for it, it becomes what the people will be telling you. There are few things going on now in the community, not just Nigerian, Liberian, Kenyan that have been into their churches on issues that are related to intergenerational gap. What are the youth problems? Right now, the common thing that is going on right now is suicide. Kids are committing and dying of suicide. That is what is going on. But parents are saying, why would somebody be so depressed to do this? We undermine the issues of the youth. We are saying those youth, I have a house for you, you live under my roof, food free. What else do you need? They need more than that. And so that is our rule back home. We say, we give you this, going to school is not an option. You have to go. Over here, that's a choice too. Over home, we decide what they need to get. The degree, you have to be a medical doctor. Are you going to be in the classroom to study for them? No. So when you live in two worlds, you have to learn what other world is doing. Our kids are suffering in silence. And parents are still using the approach that we have back home, forgetting that those kids are no longer Nigerians. They are living in two worlds. They are American-born confused. They are ABC kids. And so we don't need to confuse them more. There are ways we need to work with those kids. And sometimes we say, I cannot be a friend to my kids. Well, sometimes you have to be flexible. Why is it important to talk about drugs? Because this is what is happening in the whole world. Not just here, it's happening in Nigeria, up north. People are using toothpaste, different things to just get high. It's not something that is not happening. I had a guest this week from Oyo State. He's the Director General of a center there. Spent 1 week with me in his hotel. I take him to different places to learn different ways. Guess what? This guy is vision impacted from birth. Yet he studied in Glasgow. When he came here, I was so concerned. I was so overly sensitive or protective, holding his hand wherever we go. I took him to the state level. I took him to the State General of Mental Retardation and Developmental Disability. What am I saying here? He came here to learn. He also wanted me to come and be partner with them in their state. So people are looking for opportunity. So why do we have to talk about this? Because it's important. Could you believe that 10% of youth of 8th graders are involved in some form of misuse of drugs? 20% of 10th graders are also involved. That's pretty high. And 32% of 12th graders are also involved. I serve on the state advisory on opioid. And when I see those results and statistics, it's really baffled. And we need to work with our youth. It is because why are the youth getting involved? We will say, I never do this, we may say that, but things are changing. There's too much pressure. There's too much competition. There's too much exposure to media. 10-year-old is having iPhone. I never had iPhone at the age of that. So we need to be careful. It's good because they will nag you until you get them those media. They will nag you until those gadgets. We need to be careful. This is happening every day. I was in Kenyan community 2 weeks ago. 2 youth, high school graduates, died of suicide. We had a meeting at that Shingle Creek, that's a white building there. We're tired day with the Department of Health and DHS. And we're talking, why are those things happening? So it was like a group counseling for parents and families. So a lot of things we take for granted. Please do not let us take for granted. So what I'm going to do this morning is not really preaching or really showing you this. I just want to say some words that we can go back and say, you know what? You have a kid that is getting A, just of a sudden is getting C and managing to get E. And people say, oh, it's just, it will take time. Or you have you that is really hyperactive. And we say, oh, boys will always be do this. Some of the issues that happened when I went to that community was this particular kid is always quiet. And people are saying, oh, it's a quiet kid. Kids don't just get quiet for nothing. Something is going on. We need to be more probing. We need to probe more. We need to be sensitive. We need to be more aggressive when you see things changing. We cannot afford to say boys will be boys and girls will be girls. I think I'm so glad to see some youth here in this church. Take time to interview them. Take time to ask them. I know many of us have 4 jobs, 3 jobs, 2 jobs. So when kids are home, we don't even ask them, how was school today? Oh, it's good. What is good about school? Just tell them it's good. It's not enough. I'm not getting what you mean by school is good. What did you do? What did your teacher say? I am not blaming parents. This is America, where you have to juggle things. But we are parents, and we need to do the responsibility. So with that, I just want to say, what are the strategies? I already told you why it is important to cover something like this. That the 10%, the 20%, and 31%, they are very high percentage that require us to pay attention to this. So sometimes when we do empowerment, we need to know, why is this happening? Why do we need to do this? What impact does it have? Yes, this topic has impact. If 8th grader, 10% of 8th graders are involved in misuse of vibes, or marijuana, or overuse of medication prescribed for them, that's pretty high. And then when you talk about 20% of 10th graders, that's pretty high also. And then 31% of 12th graders. So all these 3 things are very important that makes this topic, when your pastor said, let's discuss this. Doesn't mean it's happening, but how do we prevent this or minimize it to the point where it doesn't escalate? Because a lot of time, we cannot prevent everything 100%, but we can work on it. I know in our community, in our culture, we are not a culture of preventative. We are a culture of curative. You have to cure it when it happens. You don't see dentists unless you have headache or toothache and you can't crack this bone, this chicken bones. Then I say, oh, something's happening. I have to go and see my dentist. We don't need to let this kid take so much risk to the point where of no return. So, can I quickly see this? I know I have limited time, but I can come back some other time. Somebody is helping me. Okay. It is never too late or too early to start talking about this issue. A lot of time we wait and wait. I just told you 8th graders, and I told you 10th graders. So it's not too early to start talking about how our parents need to talk about this. Studies show that use of parents who ask those kids about the design or dangers or changes in substance use are 50% less illegally to be involved. A lot of time when we get kids involved very early, we have a chance. It is only when they are in their 12th grade, your chances are very, very low. Because at that time, they were telling you what? Answer. When the kid gets to 12th grade, what did they tell you? Leave me alone, I'm what again? Thank you. Another reason why we can do that is because now they can tell you I'm an adult and I know what I'm doing. They always know what they are doing, even though we know they don't. But who are you to say they don't know what they're doing? Because they are in 12th grade. And maybe sometimes parents may not even know what is happening in school. I was doing some counseling with one boy from Somalia. This boy really nice boy. So one day I went to school. I didn't see him. So later on, I went the following day. And the teacher told me that this boy is being suspended and that the police car is taking him home now. So I follow him home. That is on Cedar Avenue there in Minneapolis. When I got there, the boy was coming out of the car, the police car, and the grandma coming out of the house. And guess what? When the police came in, telling the grandmother that this boy behaved this way, and they wanted him to interpret. And what did he say? He told grandma that he was late and missed the bus. And so police gave him a ride. You know, and I was watching this statement, and I shook my head. And then they asked questions, and the police told the woman again, saying, if he come back again, he would not be in school for 2 weeks, suspension. And then the mother, again, looked at the boy, and the boy said, next time that when they gave him a ride, if he cannot give him a ride, they will give him a bus pass. So you can see how sometimes those kids can fool you. I mean, after that, I did not interrupt because I didn't want police to know what is happening. And so I just let it go until another counseling session. And when I went there again, he looked at me and I said, you know what I heard yesterday you said? He put his head down. Why am I saying this? It's because sometimes you may see drug in their pockets. They may tell you something because you are not used to it. They may just tell you it's a piece of paper. So there are different ways that those kids can fool their parents. So it is important for you to probe those information. Next, another one. Okay, adolescent brain. Why is this important? There are so many damages that this thing can do to kids or youth. They may think they are old, but they are not old. The brain is not mature till the age of 25. So it can be done, so much damages can be done to the brain. Brain development is not complete at the age of 25. And so when the kids at 8th grade and 10th grade are involved in chronic abuse of drugs, this is what is going to happen. And so we need to be aware of those things. Things are more likely to take risk. They are risk takers. We are not. So it is our job to really know your kid very well. I always tell people, people need to know their kids very well. I know when one of my daughter was going to school, first grader, I went to school, I told the teacher to be the teacher, and I said, this kid always curious and ask questions. He said, oh, don't worry, I am 28 years of teaching first grader. No problem. But your 28 years experience is not for my daughter. After first semester, second week in first semester, I got a call about my daughter. And I said, what's going on? You have 28 years of experience, so I can't teach you anything. Don't allow teacher to tell you that. Make sure you let your teacher know. Tell your teachers, this is how my kid behave. My kids, sometimes when they argue, I say, go and be a lawyer. You can't get money from me. And so it is important, study something that will give you money, not argue with me. And so parents, sometimes we need to find ways, make it humorous, and make sure your point come across. This is very important. 9 out of 10 people, go back. 9 out of 10 will use substance disorder using at the age of 18. This is Center for Adolescents. This is the research that's been done. So whatever we are talking about it is to let you know. It's not that you can do much, but it's never too early to start. And looking at what are the symptoms, what happens when you think your kid may be using. And sometimes you have to ask the right question to get the right answer. You can't just say, oh, are you using? No, I'm not. No. There's more way to ask those kind of questions. Pointed questions that will not give you yes or no, that you just walk away and say, oh, he said no. That's not enough. Probe more. Yes, I want more. I don't know how much time I have, but okay. I already whispered to me. Okay, next one. How do I know if my child is using? These are the signs. Some of the signs. This sign is not exhaustive, But these are part of the sign. Declining school performances, abrupt changes in friends. Many of those kids will change friends 1,000 times. Because if this friend is not doing it well, they go and join another friend. So watch how many kind of friends the kids bring home. Abnormal health issues or sleeping late. Deteriorating other relationship with family. So sometimes they don't have time for you because their friends is calling them. They are going to do ABCD. Less openness and honesty. They will be hiding things from you. These are the type of time you need to know that when they are hiding those information from you. Or their backpack, they put it under the bed. That means something is there that they are going to deliver the following day in school. So we need to be careful to those things. Next, please. Okay, why do you use drugs? We already talked about those things. Too many friends talking about their experiences. And sometimes those kids are very curious. Curiosity, we have it in Nigeria that curiosity killed the cat. Is that what we say? I don't remember. And so sometimes those kids are experiencing things and they are curious about the impact. How to get high. Some people will be telling them that kind of thing. Next. Okay, these are strategies. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to be sending my slides to the pastor so that the pastor can also, we may not have time to finish everything today, but these are the risk factors and these are the protective factors. As this coming, maybe when you have another small group, we can be going through all those things. Protective factors as well as risk factors. It's listed there. I will not read them because of my time. Next. Strategies when talking to youth. There are different ways. Sometimes we say, what's wrong with you? That's not the best way to ask kids. You say, nothing is wrong with me. My question to a kid will be, what happened to you? If I ask you what happened to you, you are forced to tell me more rather than just say nothing. What happened to you? You start telling the story. A lot of times, that's the best way to ask questions from your kid. What happened to you? What happened today in school? What happened to you in the classroom? What happened today in the classroom? So sometimes the question we ask make a difference. Sometimes we need to be putting yourself in their shoes. A lot of time, when you ask questions, it's important you evaluate that question. If somebody asks you this question, how will you answer it? How will you respond to that? So it's very important to know those ways of asking questions. Be clear about your goals. When you're asking questions, what do you want to achieve from there? That is, the answers are there too. So the way we ask those questions from our kids is very important. Our kids live in two worlds, the American world and the African way. But majority of their way of thinking is more Americanized. And as such, your question cannot be the way you ask it back home. I always tell the people here, especially the county case workers, when they say, oh, parents don't care. Parents really care. But because of the parents are unable to go to conference in the classroom or talking about the kids, because back home, we don't go to tell the teacher what to do. And that is why over here, when they say there's a parent-teacher conference, we don't go. It is important to go to those meetings because that's when you know more about what is happening in school. And I know over here, they're empowering you. But back home, nobody's empowering you. Nobody asks you to come to conference. Or they can tell you that your kid is not doing well, and you slap that kid, say, why are you not doing well in class? That's not the way it works here. Any other, okay, I already covered that. Next, these are just the way, when you are asking those questions, please be calm. Don't be so aggressive when you are talking to your kids. Calmness is important. And don't use punitive approach. Nobody lands under punishment. You can do consequences, but not punishment. Because back home, what we know is punishment. Sometimes they do something, you don't know why. I know they've done something for me in the past when I was growing up, and I didn't know my offense, but I cannot ask. So just looking at me too long, people can say, take your eye away from me. Well, or when you go to places you don't want your kid to participate in something, and you look at there and look at eyeball to eyeball and say something wrong with your mom. So these are the kind of things we need to really be watching here. Oga, do more. Let me see before I don't want to take much of time. Okay. Find comfortable setting. Kids like to be defensive when they see their group. And that is why when I go to do training teacher with schools, I always tell teachers, do not reprimand students in front of another student. They become defensive and they become more aggressive. So it is important you set a stage for where you can talk to your kids. Set them aside from other siblings. Make sure you are calm. Not because somebody reported to you, you are so high up. Your voice is high, and the kids know that. They will apply on that. And then they become shouting matches. So please, be able to ask questions in a calm manner. I know many times we get so angry. We just feel like doing this and that. So please, let's take it easy. Be aware of your body language, your position, your disposition when you are asking your kid, those kind of things. What am I doing? I am trying to set up empowerment. You cannot empower somebody, but they have to learn it. So I'm giving this kind of idea for you as a way to approach kids. Next, additional strategies. All these are here. I will send all this to the pastor so that when you have your other sessions, you can be using this as a tool. Next, active listening. Active listening. When your kid is talking to you, that is not the time to be doing dishes. That is not the time to be frying whatever you are frying. Give them your ultimate attention so that they know you care. If I'm talking to you now and I'm seeing people on their phone and this, and I know they are not, people may say they are multitasking, but there are certain things people need to do. So when they are talking to you, please be attentive. It is important for kids. Otherwise, they walk away. They know you are not listening. Yes. Help them feel heard by reflecting. Sometimes you say, what did we even talk about? Can we discuss it again? So it's reflection. It's important. Let them regurgitate it back to you so that you know maybe it's getting to their head or not. Yes? Well, they say I should thank you. I don't know if I have room for questions, maybe one or two questions. What we are doing here is just to give you an idea. Many of these you are already aware of it, but they say repetition strengthens memory. The more you hear it, the more you absorb it. So nothing is useless, even if it's repeated. I always tell someone when I go to conferences, which I usually do, I go there for two things: to learn something new or to reaffirm what I already knew. So it's the same thing that I'm saying this morning. If something here is not something you are practicing before, this might be an opportunity for you to practice that and see how it works. And then you can say, I've done this, I've done that. I need help. Kids need help. Kids need nurturing. Please, we have to work to put bread on their table, but at the same time, we need to also deal with their emotional issues and their curiosity. Questions, please. Yes. Well, like I said, there's no any other early time. You can start as early as you think the kid can understand you, because sometimes you cannot do training for someone who doesn't understand. And sometimes it takes maybe anywhere from 4 years, as little as 4 years. because you don't know this day. 2-year kid can even start using your phone right now by just trying to put things around. So I would say there's really no specific, but look at the age and the developmental stage of your child. You know, back here and back home, when people go to school, it's your height, it's physical fitness that you are ready to go to school. Over here is age and emotional stability. So you know your kids, you know when you can talk to them to understand. That is when you start. There's no really set stage, but developmental stage is important. Yes.
You know, when you know your kid, they go out with their friends, but you just notice they are drawn back from their friends. They don't want to go out with them. But you ask them that what is really wrong with them, but they want to open up for you that I'm okay, mom, don't talk about it again. I was like, but you always go out with your friend. What happened? But they don't want to really talk to you much about it. Is there anything I don't?
Well, that's another sign that something is not right, especially when kids start not interested in what they used to be interested in. Then that is the time to probe more. And you need to probe more from those friends that you know that you usually go out with. To say, I've not been seeing you with John, my son. What's going on? A lot of time they are shopping around for friends that will meet their needs. And so, like I said here, that many of those kids will be jumping from friend to friend. And so it is important for you at that time to start asking, why are you isolating yourself? What's going on? And you can say, sometimes you can even use your experiences of what you have seen him doing with another friend before to say, hey, how long ago have you seen this friend? And then from there, you can detect what is actually happening. Unless I'm not hearing your question very well. Is that your question?
Yeah, they prefer to go with their siblings than to go. They go out, but they just isolate themselves. But with their siblings, they go to the movie to do so many things. But with the friend, they don't want to do anything with them anymore.
Well, it depends on how long that has been happening. Because sometimes the kids may be depressed. When kids or adults are no longer showing interest in what used to be interesting to them before, there's some sign of depression. And we need to explore that. It depends on how long that has been going on and the frequency of how it's happening. So how old is this person?
Like 21, 22.
How much? How many?
21.
21. Well, again, it's an adult. And because of that, the limited information is going to be given you will be a little bit challenging to you. And so it depends on your relationship too before you turn at 21 and how much you know about him. But this is the time to really look for an adult. Is it male or female? Huh?
Female.
Female. Yeah. Is it in college?
Yes.
Uh-huh. So again, it's an adult. Even though it's not 25, the brain is not fully developed yet. But all you need to do is continue to coach and continue. And again, you cannot get too much involved at that age.
That's the thing.
So you need to understand that. And maybe if he has friend or maybe somebody, a role model, again, either in the church, you might need to refer and talk to somebody. Is he in college with you here in town here or out of town?
Out of town.
Right.
Not in Minnesota here, but a little bit far from.
Okay. So again, this is not a time for you to really probe a lot. However, remember I said after the 12th grade, there's less or little you can do. That's why it's never too early to start. So if I were you, I would refer him to someone that may be important to him in his life, even if it is pastor. To say, this is what I'm seeing. I'm glad you are sharing this because a lot of time people don't share it, but you get to that age that you can only refer him to another adult beside you as the mom, so that you have a different experience.
Thank you.
Questions? Well,
Okay.
oh,
Um, okay, so how can you help a kid from a dysfunctional home? You're concerned about this kid. You saw this kid, and you want to help, and because you see there's nobody there for this child, and that's why this person, or maybe a parent is missing in the life of this child, and that's why they are using this substance because it makes them feel good. How do you help them?
well, it depends on the type of adult in their livelihood. A lot of times the parent may not be there, but maybe auntie or uncle might be somebody to talk to. Like I've often forgot to mention something. Some of these things are genetic too. Some of the time the kids also learn this from their parents. Monkey do, monkey does. That kind of thing is there too. So we need to be careful of what we do in presence of those kids. I do a program called Gambling Addiction, and I've seen some kids that will sell their lunch in return for something else in the class, in the school, because they see their parents going to gamble and buying all this scratch stuff. And so that is important to know. If you believe that this is why it is happening, then we need to reach out to other relatives or members of the family. Because those things can be genetic and they can be seen. You know, I'm seeing somebody doing it the same way. My parent does this. I see my parent. You know, during COVID, a lot of families really found out what their husband or wife does a lot because they cannot go out to be drinking. And so that is the time they bring the drink home. And then they finally know that when they are out of work and not home on time, they are in the bar. So COVID really exposed a lot of things at that time. They cannot, because a lot of places are not open. And so when you buy, you cannot go to a bar to drink. You have to bring it home. So a lot of these things we are talking about also can be genetic and so also can be from parents. So the parent is doing it, it's difficult for that same parent to be reprimanding or giving training or counseling to the kid because they see the kids see them doing every day too. So let's be careful of those things, especially what we do in presence of our kids. It is important. I really appreciate this. My phone number is here. Oh, okay.
My daughter she's 17, and while we were in California, her friend was caught with weed, and they are really close. So right now she has relocated to Texas with her dad, and she's coming here. She's insisting on going to California to spend time with a friend that she misses her friend. And there's no way to change her mind. It's really bad. She's not talking to anybody. In that situation, we're already opting for her to go to spend time with a friend. But I'm also concerned if the friend has stopped smoking weed. And the parents, they didn't know the girl smokes weed. They don't know. She kind of just secretly told one of her brothers. And so I'm not sure the girl's parents know she smokes weed. But my daughter said she has been friends with her for a while. And my daughter, we can't really tell. She's not with me. So I can't really tell if she has. She's a good girl. I don't know. But now she's insisting on going to spend this like a week with the girl before coming here. So in that kind of situation, how do we? Because she has refused to have any friends in her location. So what do we do? She's
Why don't
really
you see me
insisting.
after this morning to talk to me more about that? Because a lot of time there are so many things. You see, there are so many multifactorial reasons when people behave the way you are describing now. And a lot of time when they find, like, if any parent found out weed, they go off the balance. And so when, that is why I'm saying we cannot be reactive. We have to be careful and not react to when we see kids or cut them with the weeds. And because you will never hear anything anymore. And they will more smartly hiding those things from you. And they will not talk to you again either. And so it depends on how you approach it when you found this, wheat with them. I'm not sure if I'm answering your question because I didn't hear you very well.
My daughter don't smoke. It's the friend.
Huh?
So,
Can you
but
put
she's
this-
traveling. She wants to go. She
Huh?
wants to go to California to go spend summer with a friend, like a week with a friend.
Okay.
And there's no way for her. She's refusing. She doesn't want. She doesn't want to hear any excuse why.
But you cannot go.
Yes.
How old?
17.
17.
Mhm.
Okay. And who
And
is-
she's in Texas. So this summer she wants to go to her friend before coming here. My
Okay.
concern is the friend has been caught with weed. Should we? And the parents of the girl don't know she smokes. And I don't know how to.
So
she's
who is going to
refusing, like,
sponsor the trip there?
Me.
You. Okay. Meet me after this so that I can talk to you more about it. This is something that is a little bit different. Let's talk more about that. Pastor, thank you very much. I'm open. Like I said, my phone number is with the pastor. I want people to be free to talk to me about this. Also, again, because of the fact that a lot of these things are very individual. So after I'm here, I still have another 20, 30 minutes that people can come to me. I'm going to be somewhere, wherever the pastor wants me to be, to talk to me. The reason why I'm saying this is that I was doing training with a church called Seventh-day Adventist, and they're in Plymouth. And that day, it was in the afternoon on Saturday, like I said, Seventh-day Adventist. This training was going on, it's on suicide prevention. And this father, this man, was talking to me, came so close to be asking me, was asking so many questions. And I'm answering just based on what he's asking me. And it was a very long day. It was not just me, but other presenters. So this man came closer and asking more questions. And I answered them. So everything got done. After that, he came to me again, asked questions. I answered them. He never said that he has a daughter of 24 years old that has been dealing with depression. 2 weeks after that, the woman died. 24-year daughter died. She did not tell me my daughter is going through this. We would have been able to save her life. So why am I saying this is a lot of people now may not ask me a question here, but I want to make sure whatever